Hey everyone, this is Jane from TeaDB here, bringing another Inbetweenisode. Today I am going to be talking a bit about a Dayi report I should say Menghai Tea Factory report that I released on TeaDB.org. Basically drinking through a bunch of different Menghai Tea Factory teas. Of course, Menghai Tea Factory, and then kind of the Dayi brand came into effect in around the 2004 range. And this has actually been one of my most consumed brands, just period, probably in the last 2 years or so. And I've really gotten quite Dayi-pilled. And part of that is, because it's just simply good tea to drink. I think if you're into maximizing the material quality that you're putting into your system, probably not necessarily the brand that you would pick. You probably pick one of the boutiques or whatnot, whichever one clicks the most with you. But if you want stuff that is well blended and priced pretty well, and of course Dayi is a vehicle for speculation and stuff like that in the poor community. So the prices have gone up and down. And I think one particular reason it's good right now is because the prices are relatively down. If you look at kind of the ups and downs, Donghe tea is kind of the best way to just sort of track the prices. Of course, the prices aren't necessarily going to reflect 100% down to retail in terms of like, this is the price listed here, this is the price for retail. There are reasons for it fluctuating. Sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher. But it does give you a good gauge of whether Dayi is up or down. And in this case, it is quite a bit down. Some teas are something like 70 to 80% of the price. Other teas are as low as 15 to 20% what they were 4 or 5 years ago. Not only that, these teas are now, a lot of them are fairly old. One of the reasons for that is that the quantity being produced for pu'er in general, but Dayi as well, went up like a rocket in kind of the mid-2000s. So a lot more tea is being made, and there are not enough people to drink all those different teas. So basically what's happened is prices have kind of gone down for a lot of the different teas. And they're also more available, and they are more aged. So from a consumer point of view, it's not a bad place to be at all. They've also continued to become more available. So we have a really nice, easy option right now these days with quiche teas. Probably the ideal beginner spot, really good price point. They're basically just drop shipping. One of the more prominent pu'er tea shop specialists in Taiwan, Taishan. But you also have other options that have been around. Like if you're really interested in Malaysian stored teas, has that. If you Taobao is easier to navigate than before, partly due to the community helping you navigate it, and partly due to the fact that there are kind of fairly open people selling legitimate Dayi. The storage is not always 100%, but that's why we talk to each other, and so we can figure out, hey, this vendor has storage on the drier end, this one maybe not so legit, and we can help to kind of eliminate those duds there. Anyways, it's a good time to be a Dayi fan, and I think it's a much better time than when I was first getting started into pu'er probably 12, 13 years ago. And so in this report, it basically gave me a chance to drink through and write out my basic thoughts on a number of Dayi teas. Don't come close to hitting the maximum or anything like that, but it's about 50 teas. And if you think about the format of an individual recording episode versus an article, the episode, we're usually reviewing one tea, maybe two, if it's the random time that we have a ton of teas on the Denisode, maybe a few more. But an article really allows me to go through quite a bit. Sorry, I'm going to blow my nose here. And so having these teas in close succession too allows me to pick out kind of what is distinct about them and how I really feel about specific production. So it's a lot easier to figure out if, for instance, the 2006 7532 is better than the 2007 7532 if I've had them in close proximity rather than having one tea and then a year later having the other. You can sort of try to approximate how good you might think it is, but there's a lot more variability when it comes to making those sorts of judgments. So those are really the goals. I enjoyed doing this report quite a bit. It's certainly not a slog, so it will not be called the Dayi Masochist report. But there's a lot of interesting productions here, and Dayi has a decent range too. There's a lot of different teas. Of course, they have kind of their flagship products, 7542 especially, but also 8582, as well as their ripes. But they have a lot of different teas, some that diverge quite a bit from kind of that standard mode that you might expect from Menghai Tea Factory. So in the report, talk about where to buy, different recommendations. I have a couple different tiers if you are looking to just kind of maximize value versus maximize something for aging or just kind of maximize quality in general. Okay, so yeah, check out that report on TeaDB.org. Cranking out quite a bit of content these days. Have some more drinking reports coming up in a couple months. This time will be kind of more unknown brands too, so look out for those too when those come out. I will probably do a video for those too. But yeah, check out the report. It's quite long. It's something like 6,000 words or so. So thank you all for tuning in. Let me know how you liked it, and I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.